you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. I haven't seen you forever. You've been so busy.
I know but I was in Nashville last week, but it was like, yeah, just super busy doing stuff. So,
I think you're the hardest working country artist there is, and some of the other country artists might get mad about that because I'm looking at your schedule and I'm just like, you're all over the place.
well, I'm just trying to level up and I'm trying to be as hardworking as, say Ella Langley. Um, I would be happier with more work, to be honest.
But it's summer, Jackie. That's summer all day long. I think across the board in entertainment. I think all the uber successful artists and record producers and everybody get to go to Italy and travel Europe and do this and that. And I don't know. I don't know anything about other than just being on that grind 24/7, 365. So that's just who I've been for forever.
I
And
love that.
you too. I see you've been doing it too. You were in Florida here too. You came to Florida like a month ago, didn't you? Or 2 months ago?
Yeah, 2 months ago. Yeah, I was in Florida and let's see, I mean, it's really been a whirlwind. But just trying to stay busy, trying to get as many gigs as I can, trying to, get my socials to match what I'm doing, like I'm working really hard. I'm trying to get my numbers up on my Spotify. I mean, having label meetings, and that's pretty much what they say is like the most important thing is streams on Spotify and numbers on socials. So in between my touring and working and recording and processing all my songs, and like I'm a one man band, really. I mean, I have my band. They show up, they play the music, and they support me. But I do everything else. I do the accounting, I do the payroll, I do the scheduling, I do the organizing of trips. I have to buy the plane tickets, I have to get us hotel rooms, I have to make sure I have all their information right when I'm doing that. I'm scheduling, I'm coordinating, yeah, it's a lot. I'm doing it all on my own. And not to mention I have a secondary business that I'm also trying to sell, so I don't have to manage that anymore because I really just want to primarily focus on my music. But yeah, it's a lot.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm proud of you. I mean, but you're doing it. You're doing it without complaint. But you know what? I just read something on Instagram that you posted that you just signed with a new agent, a new manager or something, a booking agent, right?
Yes, I signed with Kincaid Entertainment, which
That's huge.
I'm really excited about. They just got nominated for best agency, like boutique agency. So they're up there with like Wasserman and a couple other ones that I can't remember right now. But it was kind of cool to just see that I just signed with them, and now it's like they're
Oh,
being
damn.
voted for
Was I
on
not supposed to
music
say
role.
anything? Was I not supposed
Huh?
to say? Was you posted it? So I felt like it was safe to say something about it.
No, you're totally fine. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm super excited
Yeah.
that I signed with them. Honestly, it probably took about a year and a half of me harassing them to sign me. So
Amen.
um, I was emailing them like every 1 to 3 months, just touching base and just seeing when they might have room for me, because at first they were so overloaded with female country singers that they didn't want to take another one on. And I guess they just made room for me because they were like, you know what? She won't shut up until we give her a spot. So
What will happen by
I'm
you
sorry, my
signing with?
cat is being so needy. If I put her down, she won't stop meowing. So
Oh, you're fine.
she's
That's
here
a
for the interview.
that's a Siamese. Is that a Siamese? I don't know anything about cats, but is that a Siamese cat?
She is Siamese Himalayan. But you can't see really the Himalayan in her. You can see it a lot more in her sister, which she's napping. So she's like, I don't care.
I know nothing about. I very know very little about cats, but that is a beautiful cat. Like that cat could be a model.
Yes, she's my little model. Hi, honey. And she's very lovey. She's very lovey. She needs a lot of affection. She hates when I go out of town. She tries to block the door when she sees my luggage going out. She like locks the garage doors, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she misses you when you're out on the road and you're
Yeah.
out there often. And let's hope, I'm hoping that this new signing you just did in Nashville, they're a booking agency. Is that what they're going to be handling for you mostly?
Yeah, I have yet to get like a coordinator for like they get me gigs, right? But
Hmm.
I haven't hired somebody to like coordinate that the rest of the stuff. So they've already gotten me a couple of gigs now, three since I signed with them, and they're pretty great gigs. I'm not even ever probably ever going to complain because they're doing a great job already. Their communication is on key, and the one thing that I could say about them is like Bob is my agent
Hmm.
and he's 24/7. I mean, if I text him or if I call him or if I say, hey, like for Yamhill County, they Easton Corbin dropped out because he wasn't able to make it. And they called me and asked me to fill in. And it was like a Saturday. And, their office hours is Monday through Friday. I emailed him because at that point I didn't have his cell phone number yet. And he was like, oh my God, you don't have my cell number here. Like I work 24/7. So whenever something happens or whenever you need me, I'm here. And if you can't reach me by email, or if you can't reach me by phone, call the office, press 9, and it'll route a satellite to my phone and alert me. And I was like, that's what I want to hear,
That's what I'm
that I want
talking
somebody to
about.
work for me as hard as I work for me. So I'm very happy right now.
Well, I use this in I've said this in some of my other interviews. It's like you never, as a producer, manager, casting, whatever, agent, you never want it more than the artist does because if you end up wanting it more than them, you'll end up working harder than them. And that is a lesson I learned many, many years ago. If an artist isn't as hungry as you, I mean, look how I've been on you since we've met, which I want to talk about that fun story. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I see you're hungry. I mean, even with all of the exposure, which we're going to get into, we got so much to unravel with you, on The Voice and on Team Reba, and how well you did, and the millions of eyeballs that you were exposed to, and you're still just on that grind, like there's no tomorrow, like almost, it's wild. I mean, I've seen you open up for Jelly Roll. I know you're friends with him and some of the OG Nashville people, man. It's really a tight knit community. We talk about this often on iShowcase Music Podcast, and you're in. I mean, people love you. You got a powerful voice, and you're nice, and that's what I loved about you the first night I met you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our all-local girl, Jacquie Roar.
You'll be hanging off my lips just like a cigarette. Another drink, another smoke, another night to regret. I need you like a bad habit. It's gonna be a good time, yeah. Roll the dice and blow up my money just to feel your high. I need you like a bad habit. It's gonna be a good night, yeah. Just one more kiss to get left drunk, honey. Think you're gonna be a new bad habit of mine. A new bad habit of mine, yeah.
Where were we? Four Seasons. It was across the street from where I was staying. Four Seasons Bar, and your buddy is he still around? How's your buddy doing, by the way?
He's great. I just saw him on Friday. We went and had dinner over at Perry's in Franklin. So it was a delicious dinner. And
Perry's is awesome. Yes.
yeah,
He,
him and his wife are just so kind, really.
oh my gosh, he's a character. He and I hit it off right away. I don't know if it was an Italian thing or whatever. He and I hit it off, and I was getting ready to go back, and he was like, "No, man, Jackie's on her way." I'm like, Jacquie Roar. I said, "Why does that sound familiar to me?" He's like, "No, you got to stay. You got to stay." And so I'm so glad I listened to him, and I got to meet your whole band, if you remember that night too.
Yes.
And I was probably feeling no pain on our first, but we're still buddies, so I guess it wasn't too embarrassing.
No, you did great. You were fine. I don't drink anymore, but that's why I was making James and Christian drink with you. So
Good for you. Had you stopped? Because that was back in February. So had you stopped back in February drinking?
yeah, it's been January 1st. I started it out as a New Year's resolution to not do it for 30 days. And then once I hit 30 days, I was like, I want to see how long I can go. And now it's been almost 8 months. So
Wow, Jackie, that's you. I'm so happy for you.
thanks.
It only takes 21 or 27 days to kick any habit. Not that drinking was a habit for you or for me or whatever, but if you're the third person that's a good friend of mine that has done that. They were like, man, I just stopped drinking, and like after 30 days, I like felt so good. I'm like, I didn't need to go back. I didn't want to even go back. I felt alert. I felt good. And I'm like, there's something to say for that. There really is. A lot of people. I met one. Not that I'm going squirrel on you.
That's okay.
Met one girl. Um, what's the diner that's on the corner of where we had first met? You know how they have that 5-story diner there on
Oh yeah.
Demon Brewing or whatever. I always call it Demon Brewing.
Over by Southern is my favorite restaurant. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And my son and I, we were there. We went there for 4th of July. Actually, we just went there last month, and we walked in, went up to the sports bar, and I started talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I quit drinking." She was like, and when I quit, I guess she was pretty bad. And she was like, when I quit drinking, I literally felt like a brand new Nashville resident. She was like, I quit drinking. I felt like it was brand new moving to Nashville. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's wild.
I would say it is pretty hard because, like, I wouldn't say like it was a hobby or it was a habit. I would say it was more like a social norm. And it was like, if you weren't doing it, you were the odd man out. So, not that I felt pressured ever to drink, but it kind of just became like, oh, I'm going to go and have a drink and talk with my friends. And, it's been a relearning, so now it's like, I got to figure out where I'm going to have fun eating or what I'm going to do after we eat. Like, how are we going to keep this conversation going? And still have fun, because you have to relearn how to have fun without a drink in your hand. So, and everything seems to be more fun when you're drunk, right? So it's been a relearning, a transition for me, but I think, every once in a while, like when it's really hot and we're by the water, I have cat fur on my lip. when it's really hot and the water, there's water nearby, like, we go swimming at the pond at my fiance's parents' house, and it always sounds so good just to be like, I want a beer right now. But other than that, it's been pretty tame. I haven't really had strong cravings. Just end of summer, I'm like, maybe I could just have one. But then I can't say I haven't had a drink in 8 months, so I'm kind of prideful about that.
But that's true though. I got other friends that have quit drinking. They quit because they had to. And excuse me. And man, they start telling me how the science behind quitting, the when you just talked about temperatures and triggers is what they talk about quite often, are the different triggers of the different scenarios and the certain temperatures in the air that make you want, not just because you want to and the habit of it, but it's like physically,
Give me 1 second. My cat is attacking a plugged-in phone charger. No, kitty, don't do that. Tell ya, mom and pet owner pretty much are the same thing.
If that cat would have gotten electrocuted, or like zapped, and we heard the zap, I would have been the worst. That would have been. I'd have felt terrible for you.
No, he or she was just like, and I'm like, that is not. Lord.
So you being one of my first friends in Nashville when I was there, you were the first one I put that little escapade, that little silhouette together video montage. Use some of your voice footage, but use some of the new songs you have coming out. I mean, I think you released something recently. I want you to talk about your music, and exactly, these Spotify plays. Hopefully, iShowcase music can help ramp those up and get this worldwide going for you. Because I know you already got it going on, but I mean, more eyeballs, more ears. That's what it's all about. So tell us about your music, the new release you have coming out or just released, and what the plans are.
Okay, well, the song that I just released is called Till the Gas Runs Out. I wrote that with Jesse Slack. It was just him and I. We decided to hook up for a songwrite midday, and I was like, I don't like the norm. Like, I feel like every song is about heartbreak or a relationship or like, and I try so hard to steer clear of that for that purpose. Like, I do have maybe a couple, like a handful, but the bulk of it is really just to make somebody feel good. I like party music and like to feel lighthearted instead of like so weighted down by a song. So Gas Runs Out is pretty much about fast cars, like sexy muscle cars, and being on a ride with somebody that you enjoy and like maybe pulling over for a shack up for a minute, and just like Bonnie and Clyde it. But I love the song. It's really fast paced. It barely slows down. I think the bridge is like a 10-second slowdown just to kind of refuel before you hit that last, drive home. So I love that one. And then the one coming up is called Other Side. And it's really funny because I just talked about like how I don't like to sing about heaviness. And here we are. I'm about to release a ballad. And it's the first ballad that I've released probably since, I did a cover of Wicked Game, but it's been about a year or maybe even longer since I've released a ballad. And this one is a very vulnerable song for me. It's about my experience of being in an abusive relationship. And I think that when you have a pedestal like I do, where I have this God-given talent, that it's only right to use some of that talent to help others. And this is one of those songs where I want to tell my story, but I also want to not focus on the fact that I was in it, but the fact that I got out of it. And if you see me as a strong female, fierce person, then remember that I was once in the position that you might be in right now, and I got out of it. And now I'm better than ever. Now I'm healthier than ever. Now I'm stronger than ever. And it just took me letting go of that situation, that toxicity, that person that I believed cared about me so much that they would hurt me because they cared about me so much. Letting that go and finding somebody who would never, ever hurt me and supports everything that I'm doing now. And I've never been stronger because of it, So that song is called Other Side, and it really just means like you have to let go or run from that really horrible situation so that you can get to the other side, which is going to be your happiness ultimately.
That's awesome. No, I mean, you know what? I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you sing a couple lines from it?
Yeah, my favorite line is actually the opening verse, which is, how did it all end up this way? I lost the part I thought would stay. How did I love you turn into a beast? Why did I let them treat me like this? That's literally my favorite.
Wow.
Line.
I got goosebumps.
Thank you.
And congratulations, by the way, because you're the first artist I have put on the spot that actually sang on the fly. And I knew, and I knew, I saw your post yesterday and I started laughing. I said, I'm gonna put her on the spot. You were in the hot tub. I'm gonna show the fans. Yeah, you were killing it with the hot tub, with the reverb, the natural reverb. But I was like, yeah, Jacquie, you have learned the lesson of, somebody asks you to sing the anthem. Somebody asks you to sing on the fly. No excuses. You just sing. And that was just so beautiful. I mean, that was really a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, because it's, hopefully, how do you weigh emotional abuse and physical abuse? Who can ever say one is worse than the other, or vice versa?
Or the combination of both. For me, it was both. It was, emotional warfare, verbal warfare, even spiritual warfare. And then it became physical when I tried to stand up for myself. So, God played it out the way that he did so that I could get out and stay out. I was kind of an idiot, and I took him back the first time that he put his hands on me because by nature I'm a rescuer. I've learned a lot about myself in therapy, that when you grow up in a not necessarily dysfunctional home, but when you don't have both parents, you don't have a father to grow up with, you don't know what to look for in love, and you just think that jealousy is love, or you think that being controlled is a form of love, or giving up who you are to compromise for another person is love. Those things, all those things are not love. And I've learned that the hard way. And I'm just glad that I'm actually grateful that I went through that horrible, toxic, abusive relationship, because I can absolutely appreciate the man that I have now, how healthy and how loving he is, how protective and providing he is. I can appreciate those things because I had believed once before what love was, and that wasn't love. This is complete love. And I'm stronger and healthier for my daughter as well. So.
Come a long way from where I've been. I went and took a chance and let another man in. Found a love that's good this time. Man, it feels like we're forever kind. Finally made it to the other side.
I wouldn't be here and be where I'm at in my music journey if it wasn't for going through all those struggles that I've gone through in life. Because, one trauma led to another, and it was very difficult to go through it, but it's my testimony. And, it's like Jelly Roll. He has his own testimony, and I think that's what makes him so tangible and relatable to a lot of people, and why he's so loved is because, he went through so much trauma and so much, crap that led to one thing or another. And he's come back from that. He found God, and he's stronger than ever. And it's like, unfortunately, you have to go through the bad to realize the good,
Yeah, but you're anything but an idiot. I mean,
No.
just because you take somebody back, I mean, it's a learning process. It's what life is all about. You learn. We all make mistakes, and it's the people who don't get back up, brush themselves off, and keep going that are the ones missing out. You've gotten some songs, some music out of this, which I always use music as therapy. I've gone through some pretty dark things to where music was my therapist, right? And
Yeah.
So I wouldn't kick yourself. You brushed it off. You're moving forward. You're getting some great songs out of it. And speaking of Jelly Roll, I am a fan. I think he frequents Orlando every once in a while. But that guy, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to permanently open for him instead of just at a festival. We need to get to his team, and we need to get that. He loves you. I know he loves you. I mean, because I saw you. I saw you. What did I see? I saw a clip with you two on stage, but I don't think he had even signed his deal yet. I think this was like way back.
He did. He did.
He had signed his deal when you were on stage with him. I'm not
Oh
talking
yeah,
recent
he
now.
was already. He Need a Favor was already out. Everything.
Oh, my timing's off on that. Then my timeline's off. Okay, all right.
Yeah. No. So that situation was. I had booked myself at the Oregon State Fair, and in doing so, they asked me if I could book Huntley. And so I called Huntley, and he said yes. So we brought Huntley out.
Cool.
And when they found out that Huntley and I would be at the Oregon State Fair, the Oregon State Penitentiary called me. They called me and asked me if I could coordinate Huntley to come and perform with me there. I did not know at the time that they were planning on having Jelly Roll come and do the thing as well. He was doing he was starting his Folsom Prison tour type thing. It wasn't called Folsom Prison, obviously, but he was doing the Johnny Cash thing where he was going.
Yeah, he's keeping it going. You guys are keeping
prison
that
to
legacy
prison.
alive. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I said yes because I wanted to give back to my community, but then ultimately it led to Jelly Roll being there as well. And then I just shot my shot. When he showed up to the whole thing, I was like, hey, I just, I sang your song on The Voice. That was my battle, and he was like, yeah, I know who you are. He's like, I follow you on Instagram. I followed you as soon as I saw that video. You guys killed it. And he was like, my dude with the hair. He was talking about Bias, he has curly hair. And
yeah,
he's like, you guys killed that. And I said, well, I was hoping that I could just record a TikTok of you and I singing it. And he was like, you want to sing my song? And I was like, yeah, let's do a TikTok. And he was like, no. He was like, F that. We're not doing a TikTok. Get up on the stage with me and sing with me. And so that's how I got to perform with him. It was just me asking him blatantly if I could sing with him.
Boom. You are fearless. You got to be fearless. I try to tell people you cannot be submissive in this business if you want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
It's happened twice. I asked Jelly Roll, and then the next time I was supposed to open up for Jackson Dean, and I asked Jackson if I could sing with him, and he was like, yeah, you sing good. Let's go. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Tell me about, that's amazing. Tell me about Reba and the real Reba. In the industry and everything, you always hear good, bad, ugly, or whatever. And I always take people for face value of how they treat me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about rumors. I don't care, whatever. People are always throwing darts. Haters are going to hate. It is what it is. But how was your experience working with her one-on-one and behind the scenes?
She just feels like a mama bear, to be honest. She has almost a little into the grandma too, where you kind of get spoiled by her,
Right.
But she's definitely a mama, and she wasn't overly guiding. She was just she basically gave you the orchids and onions. So I call it the orchids and onions, where they gas you up a little bit. She was like, oh my gosh, I love how you do this and this and this. And then the onions came in, were the only thing that I would probably work on is your choreography. How are you gonna present yourself on stage? Because you have the vocal parts correct, but I want the presentation to kind of really build a story. So she gave me pointers, because for me, I was always moving squirrel, I have to move. And she was like, Jackie, just stand still, because that'll give you better vocal precision. And sometimes standing still is way more powerful than jumping all over the stage. And I still, to this day, I hear her in my head when I'm about to start a song, hey, power stance, don't forget your power stance. She would say those things to me. So Reba, to this day, her and I still talk. We email back and forth. I show her my songs that are about to come out. And, she's kind of given me a little bit more guidance afterwards. She's also set me up, coming off of the show, she set me up with her publishing company so that I could learn how to write with some of her writers and get that experience under my belt. So it really has been, she was the perfect coach for me, because she, even afterwards, has been mentoring me.
How many chairs turned for you?
4. All 4.
Oh, sorry. Forgive me. I don't think I saw that particular episode. So who were the judges on that season?
John Legend, Niall Horan, Gwen Stefani, and Reba McEntire.
Okay.
And, I had my choice of all of them, and I called my daughter up to pick for me, because I told myself, no matter who I picked, the path was going to pass, So my daughter picked Gwen, and I was very excited because I grew up on Gwen. I grew up on Gwen. I love Reba. I grew up on Reba too, but I grew up on Gwen. She was ska rock, the grunge era, female power, stage presence, everything. She was just,
No Doubt was just
the
she was 90s.
wild.
Besides crazy. Green Day, it was No Doubt.
No Doubt, exactly. And her Tragic Kingdom album was on repeat all the time. So I told her that when I met her. I'm like, dude, this is probably going to age me, but I freaking love you. You have been such a beacon of like my journey in music. I always try to wrap rock around with country, and Gwen was a lot of that. So unfortunately, she didn't pick me when it came to battles. She picked Bias. But ultimately, that was great for me because Bias was like my best friend that whole season. And we really had each other's backs and really supported each other. And I think a lot of the emotional and stress part of that whole season would have been different if I didn't have somebody like Bias to be there. I mean, I had Mara and Huntley and stuff too, but Bias and I think we're the closest, just because we did battles together. So yeah, to go all the way back to what your question originally was Reba is a freaking saint. She really is a angel. And, Gwen, there's no hard feelings anymore. Anyways, I did have some at first. I was like, how dare you, I love you so much and you dumped me. But
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, it's good to
ultimately,
hear
I
that
can't
she's
be mad
genuine.
about it, because I got to, Reba saved me and I still got to hang out with my friend the rest of the season. So it was great.
She's genuine and it's really good. It's funny. The last interview I did was with artist named Kelsey Watts, and she's on Broadway right now, but she was also on The Voice, not your same season. And I'm intrigued, and I'm going to sound like a broken record to some of the listeners and viewers, but I get calls from these producers from I guess NBC and The Voice, and they're like, don't worry about standing in line or whatever. They want to give my artists direct auditions, private auditions at the studio and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it takes more than just, I don't know. I'm real reluctant. I send them a couple here and there just to give someone the experience of auditioning at that level. But the point I'm trying to make is Kelsey's experience is completely different than your experience, completely different from about three other people I've learned about their experiences. But they all say the same thing, that they wouldn't change it for the world, because that level of experience and you just become an expert. You're able to you become bulletproof because you're under so much pressure that by the time that camera goes live and you're in front of 30 million people watching, do or die, right?
Yeah, and I did hear, like, for me, mine was 100% organic. I auditioned online through their system.
Love that.
And it was like my 10th, 12th time auditioning, and they finally accepted me. Whereas I've heard like other people were contacted by casting to audition. So
Now,
I know,
let me be
like, some
clear.
people.
Let me be clear. Let me interject. I had nothing to do with Kelsey's audition or anybody else's audition that had made the show or whatever. I mean, I just get these emails all the time of old producer friends of mine from back in the day asking me about that. But no, that's really wild. You did it organically from the get go. That's commendable.
Yeah, and some people didn't. Some people got casted. Like, I mean, either way, if somebody comes to you, you still have to go through the process. It's not like you get fast passed, But it just, I had auditioned and they basically said yes. So it could be either way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for me, because it was organic, I did not know what to expect. Nobody had given me a heads up on anything, where I think is like in casting, they kind of give you a little bit of guidance to help you to get, put your best foot forward. So it was definitely a very stressful and a very like, what do I do now type thing. I just remember coming to the hotel that they put you up in, and I had checked in with them. They had like a table in front. I checked in with them. I got my per diem. I got my bags reimbursed. And then I went up to my room and I unloaded everything. And I was sitting on the bed and I was sitting there for like an hour. And I'm like, what is going on? Why aren't they calling or anything? And I call and I'm like, hey, I'm unpacked. What do I do now? Like, where do you need me? And they're like, just hang tight until you get your schedule, which could be within the next 4 weeks. I'm like, cool. Thanks for letting me know. I'm like, I'm just gonna go eat now. Like I just, went and made
So
friends.
they put you there 4 weeks before filming or before your schedule?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they not 4 weeks before your schedule. There's 120 people that show up. So they can only schedule so many people in so many days. So, it's like you have to go through wardrobe, and then you have to go through B-roll, and then you have to go through like your interviews, and you have to go. So, they're getting to know you, and they give you your songs, and then you have to go through your rehearsals. And yeah, so it's like it's a process. So they, I didn't go in till the third week. It was the third week that I got scheduled to finally go in and do my wardrobe and do all that stuff. So it was like 2 or 3 weeks of just like sitting around, like to not really knowing what to do. So.
No, see, there you go. Totally different experience. I had never heard that from anybody.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, our
wild.
season was really different too, because it wasn't just, mind you, our season was 2 seasons being filmed at the same time. So,
Okay.
it wasn't just 120 people, it was 240 people, like that they're trying to process through their, whatever they do. So it was like, we had A and B schedule, and season 25 had C and D schedule, so it was like a lot of people. And I became friends with some of the people that were on season 25, as well as obviously we had our core group on season 24. But, like Karen Waldrop and I are great friends. We help each other out. She hooked me up with my first agency that I ended up, getting a little bit of experience with. And then I kind of was just like not doing enough. So it just didn't work out really. Not on their behalf and not on my behalf. It just wasn't like a good fit. But,
Right.
And then because of that, I hooked her up with a sponsorship with Boots. I have Wet Kiss sponsorship for all my cowboy boots. So she was like, girl, where are you getting your boots at? And I was like, girl, hold my beer that I don't drink anymore. Let me get you a sponsor.
hold my O'Douls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that would be the biggest teaser. Yeah. So yeah, you got some awesome boots. I mean, you're photogenic. You're taking great pictures. You're doing, you're capitalizing on the fame that was brought your way. You're capitalizing on your powerful vocals. You're capitalizing on your emotional lyrics, your strong lyrics, power ballads. What great timing for you. I mean, if you think, I start thinking, and I'm not in any way comparing you, but if you remember the 80s, I'm aging myself. As a matter of fact, this Friday coming up, I'll be able to buy a house at the Villages officially.
Wow. That's crazy.
But
congratulations.
Thank you. I let the gray roll. I don't, I
if you're going to say Tiffany.
No, I would never. No. I was thinking White Snake. I'm talking about,
Okay, cool. I like that.
I'm talking Jefferson Starship, Styx, White Snake, the old in your face, and the music videos. I mean, there is a comeback because I do video too. That's what iShowcase is. iShowcase TV is a streaming app. So I want there to be such a comeback for music videos, good music videos that tell a story. Like if you think Journey, with Steve Perry and Faithfully and How We Run, and the girl getting off the bus and it's telling the story of the song. And it's like when you tell a story of the song and people can put the visuals with this killer freaking song, it's a no-brainer. It really is. It's a no-brainer win-win hit for everybody. So that's the vibe I get from you, Jackie. I think your whole power ballad thing that's something. I know you got one coming out. I can't wait. Even just hearing that first verse, I cannot wait to hear that. Please send that to me so I can share. But I think this power ballad thing might be, say that 20 times, power ballad thing.
Power ballad. Yeah.
If you, I think that could be something really, really good. I know it could be. Cause I heard you do it live. I mean, I heard you on the show doing it a couple times, and now, but doing your own, I don't know, just something to think about and to chew on, because why is it that so many people are trying to relive the 80s? Not just Generation X, but even Generation Z. They're just like the 80s you know, my kids listen to freaking everything from the Thompson Twins to they wouldn't know what the hell that is, but they'll know the song, right?
Right.
But the '80s music, there was just something there. There's something about '80s movies that are just making a comeback. We'll give our kids a list of my daughter's 26 and my son's turning 23 next weekend, and we'll give them a list of just '80s movies. You have to watch these movies. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, what if power ballad wise or just music in general had that fun living 80s vibe, but with today's technology and, you know, and music appeal. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have thought about doing like I have a song that it's called Bone Shaker that I haven't released yet. And I was thinking to do like a Rat or like White Snake or, glam band where, Bon Jovi, where you have like your hair with the band, like the sweatband or the bandana hair and like tight, and spandex, and just thinking like that kind of would be funny to do. Just like, and I could totally do it because I'm so confident that it doesn't, I can have fun with it. So I was kind of thinking like, and my band would be into it. They love, like, especially Christian and James, they are hilarious and they're up to it. I'm like, hey, we booked a gig, in Las Vegas on Halloween. I'm like, what are we going to dress as? Like, they already have a band that plays on Front Street that like wears spandex and stuff. So I don't want to copy them. I was like, what are we going to do?
Oh, you'll be in Nashville for Halloween?
No, we're going to be in Vegas for Halloween.
In Vegas. Oh, okay, cool. Very
cool. So I'm like, what are we going to do? What could we do that was cohesive? Like, we could do Batman. I could be Poison Ivy or something. Or it would be hilarious if we were all like sumo wrestlers. I don't know.
Oh, you can get this blown up sumo wrestler outfits
yeah,
where y'all can fight each other on stage.
The whole time.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You just brought up Rat, and I saw them in concert, and I'm gonna bring up another one, Scorpions. Yeah. That power ballad. What I'll still be loving you. It's that pause and that big ending on that third. I'm like goosebumps. Just
REO Speedwagon. You're talking like the best. I mean, Cream, Boston, America. Like, I'm thinking all those just like, you get a lot of soft rock, but then you get that one like just impeccable power ballad like Heart Alone. Like those.
I just saw them. I literally saw them last month.
Oh, really?
And I got to tell you, for she's in her 70s.
She's in her 70s and she just went through throat cancer.
Is that what that was? And she sounded that good?
Yeah.
I mean, for considering, right? She was at Kia Center, and I just went there with a buddy of mine, and we were jamming. I've been singing heart songs since I left the concert. You had mentioned something else. Oh my God! I was going to say Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, Blue Oyster Cult. Yeah, I'm burning for
Reaper.
you.
Oh my God! More cowbell. Reaper. Oh my God! That
everybody
kind of
knows Reaper, but I love Burning for You. I love that song.
Yep, indeed. It just goes on and on and on. But you know what else? You can also get the compulsory license to redo any of the songs we just mentioned as a cover.
Yes, and I spoke with my lawyer about this, and it's like, as long as I'm not selling it, like as long as I'm not making it available for download, I don't even need a license because I just claim that it's a cover.
All you have to do is go to Harry Fox or Songfile and you buy the mechanical license and the rights to do it. They're going to see your popularity. They're going to hear what you do with it, whatever song it is, right? It has to be licensed through HFA. You can do whatever you want. Once it's released, then if they get behind you, that's where it can go to the stratosphere. Let me give you an example. I don't know if you watched the show Wednesday, and I don't want this to be but there's a part in this last episode where they redo the song Black Hole Sun. Is it Black Hole Sun? I was thinking about Soundgarden. But they did a ballad, slowed it down, vibey, and they're sitting around it was such a vibe. And my wife's sitting there, and she was like, and I call out these songs because they always do. Wednesday's really good. That show's really good at taking music that no one else would really know what it is and redoing the songs. And she was like, "How do you know all this?" I'm like, "Well, that's what you get for DJing for 30 years, right? You just know every bit of music
Right.
there is." And but no, 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 no. Don't ever be, just my 2 cents. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. Don't ever be fearful. If there's a song that you're like want to kill, like House of the Rising Sun. I'm into that whole Blues Brothers, that whole, I could do a remake of that thing and crush it. Anything from the Animals. I mean that's just the kind of stuff I like to do is as an artist. Sometimes I don't really do a lot of covers. I rather do original stuff as with anyone. But I don't know. I think if there's familiarity, if there's a level of familiarity with a song, that cannot hurt, and that can only help people want to hear more of your original stuff once they hear a song they're familiar with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think in November I'm gonna release another cover. I think I've recorded
Don't
Ain't
tell
No
me.
Love in Oklahoma and Alice in Chains Man in the Box.
Well, listen, I was going to say don't tell me because then I'll have you back on in November and we'll talk all about it when you're getting ready to release it.
Oh, well, edit this out.
Yeah, nah, well, I'll keep it on. Hey, let's see if I know you'll follow through. You're one person I never have to worry about not following through for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But look, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate your time. I'm so happy for you. Anything we can do here at iShowcase Music to help you, you know that. You already know that. I've already proven that to you. But
Yes.
what I want you to do is to just tell our viewers and listeners how they can get in touch with you. Go through all your handles and website and all that good stuff, and spelling of your name because they might get the spelling of your first name wrong.
Yes, my mother was overzealous when she spelled my name, so it's Jacquie, Jacquie Roar, Roar, and all my handles are at Jacquie Roar. I'm the only one on all platforms with the blue check mark after the name, not as my picture. Those are scammers. Lots of scammers asking for money from you. That's not me. I'm not going to ask you for money. So Jacquie Roar at Jacquie Roar. And then my website is www.jacquieroar.com.
Like I
Very
said,
easy.
if they're not hating on you, you're not doing something right. So the fact that you have fans that are out there trolling you is the utmost flattery.
It's not, I actually barely ever get trolling. And it's funny because that's what labels kind of look for. So sometimes I'll ask like for a little bit of a roasting just because like I need it. I need it for the labels. But the scammers, they're pretty bad. They
No,
know that
that's
I've
bad
been
and
on
scary. Yeah.
yeah. And so, Huntley had one where when he came to Oregon, he said that this lady spent $1,200 on a VIP access to him to be able to talk with him for, 10 minutes or something. And he's like, I honored it because I felt so bad for the lady, but I didn't sell that, and these scammers are getting people to buy these VIP cards, which don't exist, so
That's crazy.
beware.
Yeah, no. Thank you. I mean, I know it, but I also know artists, they're not making money on the streaming royalties. They're not making money on the record sales anymore or on the ringtone sales like we used to. You guys are making money on the gigs, on the festivals, on the shows, on the live performances. So it makes sense to me that the scammers would come out of the woodworks to scam, to do what they do,
Yeah.
And that's when I always pray that karma just takes place, and those people get what they deserve, because you're working, you're trying to make a difference, you're trying to make people happy, and there's no time for that. There's no reason for that, and yeah, so it's definitely a
No.
difference between getting trolled and getting scammed for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But well, is there anything else you want to share, or are you good?
I'm good. Just, keep streaming my songs, y'all. I mean, the labels really just look at Spotify and TikTok for numbers. So I'm working those avenues pretty hard. And, it's important that if you do like my music and you like me, follow me on all platforms. Follow me on Spotify. There's, you know, just keep playing the songs, because the more they get played, the more opportunities I get. And just thank you. And thank you, Scott, for this opportunity to be able to, you know, get out there and let people know who I truly am and my story and my music. So
You're good people, Jackie. At Jacquie Roar. Follow her on TikTok, IG. What was the other one you said? YouTube and Spotify,
Facebook.
obviously. Spotify, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's huge. How
Yeah.
that's doing. Facebook and I'm sure if you messenger you'll even reply to your messages the best you can, right?
On Instagram. Yeah. I reply
On
to
Instagram
people
is
on
where the best
Instagram.
place to get to you. Yeah.
Yeah. If you need to get a hold of me, that's the best place, because Facebook, I've had too many weirdos on there, so I don't really open those messages anymore.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast, right? The weirdos
Yes.
on Facebook.
They want feet pics. What can I tell you?
How much? What are they willing to pay for a toe? How much you gonna make per toe?
I've been offered $500, and I'm like, no, that's not nearly enough. Sorry.
For a toe.
I want
if-
pedicures for the whole year if you're gonna get my feet pics.
But wait a second. So wait a second. All right, $500 for a toe, for a foot. But the problem is they won't go alias with that. They'll want everybody to know that's Jacquie Roar's foot.
Right.
So they want the bragging rights. So they got a picture of your. I don't understand that foot fetish. Oh my God, I don't get that.
You know, some people have it, and that's all right. I'm not gonna kink shame anybody, but you know, it's a low blow when you're offering me pennies for these beautiful tootsies I got, you know?
You're going to open up an Only Feet account.
Yeah.
I think we just came up with something. We're called Only Feet. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I bet you I guarantee there's already something out there. Some dumbass put it out there trying to make a buck for sure. $500. Now that's not with your name. $500 alias. And you got about
$500 alias, maybe, but you know, the thing is, I have a tattoo on my foot, so it's kind of hard to alias anything. It's, you know, so I was talking about this because I did watch this documentary on these girls who really make this a profession, and some of them make $250,000 a year just selling feet pics. And I'm like, that's more than I make as an artist, so maybe I should create this other company.
You should do feet puppets, singing a song.
Yeah, there you go.
Good night. $250,000 to show your feet. People are weird, man. I think COVID. I say this every episode. COVID screwed people up to another level, and it screwed people up to where they drank more. You know.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people have also, like we talked about, bringing it full circle, they've also stopped. But I think mentally, it just was so taxing on America and on everybody that people got weirder and weirder, and they still do. It's just never.
Yeah, I think people just hyper focused on politics and hyper focused on, you know, their beliefs, because AI shows you what they think you're going to side with, and then they just pile drive it to you. So you become hyper focused and hypersensitive to the things that AI is showing you or making you believe. And a lot of people are spiraling out. I don't know if you have read anything about what AI is doing, but people are literally spiraling because they're asking ChatGPT these questions and they seem so real or whatever, and it sends them to a spiral and they have to go to these clinics. So yeah, I'm not even joking. So when you
all
say
political
people
based
are getting
or
weird,
political subjects or every subject?
So ChatGPT is a whole different game, obviously, but
oh, I'm very, very well.
Yeah,
I
but
know
it's you know, with Facebook, if I stay on a political video for too long, even if I don't believe it, if I just watch it to watch it, to see what's going on in the world, it automatically thinks that that's what I believe in because I watched it, right? So then they start giving me more of those videos, and it may not be what I believe at all, but it's going to just keep showing me this, and then I'm gonna, oh well, maybe I'm on the wrong side. Maybe I need to switch to this side because this is what AI is showing me, or Facebook is showing me, and you don't even realize it. It slowly changes you over time, and I can promise you, I was way sweeter before COVID. COVID has made me a little short tempered when it comes to accepting poor customer service. And it takes everything out of me to be like, don't be a Karen. Don't be a Karen.
You and me both. You and me both. I am short. My problem is I'm short tempered when it comes to lack of common sense. And which is a great, beautiful segue and transition into my other podcast I have called The Messina Connection. We talk politics, a little bit of music, a little bit of sports, and my goal with that is honestly to try to bring people a little bit more together. I stand on what I stand on. I believe in what I believe, but it's not for me so much political as it is the lack of common sense. When people, I don't have any patience for it. Common sense, common decency, common love, and if somebody doesn't have that, I have a really, really bad problem with it. I really do. And
yeah,
good,
and I have
bad,
a
or
problem.
ugly, stand for something or fall for anything is what I've always said, right? So,
Yeah.
but I just don't want it to get to a point where it's going to end up taking another country to attack us for everybody to come together. I don't think the country has been together. Now you got me on this tangent. I don't think the country has come together since 9/11. Think about that.
Yeah, that's a long time. And I
Sort
think
of came together during COVID, but 9/11.
I think war in general, it does this. Because if you think back to like Vietnam, even when our soldiers came back home, they were getting spat on, so
Can you believe
this
that?
is a historical cycle. And unfortunately, there is a lack of common sense where people just don't learn from history. And we are controlled by a government that only makes benefit off of war monetarily, which is, I think, a lot of the drive of why they do it. And people are easily manipulated by division. So I think that
I agree with that.
yeah,
Completely.
I think that really the focus should be togetherness, but they find a way to divide us so that we're not going to overcome our government, who are making really bad choices on our behalf. So
And have been. It's not, and you can't just put that on any one government. It's just,
it's correct.
I've always said, and I'm going to interject. There's a veteran told me about this last week, and my wife and I started watching it. There is a documentary about the Vietnam War on Apple TV Plus, and it's the
Is it
real
called
footage.
Zeitgeist?
What's it called?
Is it called Zeitgeist? Because I was
No,
told to watch
I don't
something
think
called
so.
Zeitgeist.
It was just called Vietnam something, I thought. I don't,
Oh, okay.
It's just footage that has never been seen before. The film cameras, the 8mm, 60mm, they were all running on the helicopters, and it's graphic. But I've always said, I was born in 1970, showing my age again. Now I'm telling you my age. So I was born into all this shit. And 1968, this was all going down.
Yeah.
And I've always said, that is when America changed for good. Everything you were just talking about, the soldiers coming home, how they were disrespected, the whole Vietnam thing in general, America kind of got their asses whipped. Where Viet Cong just, I don't know. I want to watch the rest of the series before I speak too much on it. But I'm like, the morals, that everything changed. It was no longer the 1950s. And you know what? Let's go even before then. We could go to Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, I think when he got taken out, that's when everything started. And then from that point on, because he was so pro civil rights, right? And then from that point on, Vietnam comes in, Nixon's whole thing. I mean, it's just on and on and on. So you and me were born into all this.
Yeah.
And what do we do to make it better, make it right? I did do a song though. I don't know if you've heard it. I'll text it to you when we get off. It's called Together. I did that during COVID, and it didn't do much, but I guess it touched the people that listened to it.
And it's, you say that, but it's also like, I think about We Are the Children. I mean, it was meant to, all these iconic
We Are the
artists
World.
creating
Yep.
a song that, we are the world. That's what it is. We are the world. And I don't think it gave I mean, you have icons, legends in that freaking song, and I don't think it moved the needle at all. So, if you say maybe it touched the people that listen to it, really just think about the fact that even Michael Jackson couldn't really change people. So
They raised a lot of money from that song, but it's even more ironic that you bring that up. I don't believe there could ever be a time in 2025 where the political differences are so divided that you would never get that many egos. Because if you remember, Quincy Jones put on the door, "Leave your egos out here. We're not dealing with it." I just don't think you would ever be able to get that many legends who are left into a room to ever do something like that again.
I like to be positive, but I think you're correct. It's hard because, I'll give you an example. And I am not going to ever tell anybody what I believe in, other than God. And
Amen. I like that.
That's my personal preference because, Dolly said, I'm an entertainer. I'm not a politician. So
Amen.
I'm not here to educate anybody on politics or give you my version of what I think politics are or give you the reasons why I believe in what I believe in when it comes to politics. But I will say this is I will post a video. Like I covered a Carrie Underwood song and, somebody commented, this was just a couple days ago. Somebody commented, "I love your voice, but please don't sing Carrie Underwood anymore because she's MAGA." And I'm just thinking like, what does that have to do with music? I'm covering a song and you're making it political and it shouldn't be that way. It should literally just be a song. Like, yeah, you don't have to like her. You could say, "I don't like her views on politics." Does that make her a horrible person if she believes a certain way? I think God made us all differently. He made our brains all differently so that we can all be the different parts of the body. If everybody was the right hand instead of the left hand, we'd only have one arm. We'd only have one hand, so you need both to make the world work. And I just think it's really sad that people can't see past their nose when it comes to politics anymore. So I stay out of it.
But see,
And I
I'm
don't even
different as a
comment back when
producer.
I get those comments. It's just like I don't delete it, but I usually try to comment back to every single comment. And when somebody posts something political, you won't get an answer from me.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart as an artist. I got to say, as a producer and as it's just really interesting. It's really interesting for me how many people hit me up behind the scenes and want me to just speak, and I'm like, look, I'm not here to throw daggers at anybody. I'm not here. I want to come to the middle because if people don't come to the middle and you're not willing to, like Bill, I'm a fan of Bill Maher. I love Bill Maher. I think he has a conversation at least. He's willing to have a conversation and he's willing to, but man, it's a different time right now. And people on both sides, far anything, they're just not right. So
extremists are tiring.
They're exhausting. They're exhausting. Yeah. But then, in my opinion, for me, if I stay silent, they win. Then they say,
I'd rather stay silent and let them think that they win so that I don't have to deal with it. Honestly, it's my own mental health. I'm going to stay silent because you can't attack me if you don't know what I believe in.
Amen. I see what you're saying. Plus, why would you want to alienate 80 million people not to buy your record or listen to you or stream you? Right?
It's like, for me, music is not political. I'm not going to sit there,
it should never be.
There's the perfect example of a mega brand that everybody, you could not go an hour without Dixie Chicks coming up on the radio. Dixie Chicks was everything. And then they spoke against the president at that time, Bush, I believe. And they started getting death threats and they were nowhere to be seen. And now she came out with a new album where it's very left leaning in her lyrics, obviously. And it's all about politics. And I'm like, again, you didn't, like, to me, that's not really like learning a lesson. It's like, okay, so your purpose now, if you're okay with it, I guess, is to only sing to the left. And And if that's great with you, then that's great. Like, that's great. And I'll tell you, Natalie has the most beautiful voice. She has a really cool song called March On. I love the melody in it. I love her vocals in it. She is a very talented girl. But again, in my brain, for me, my preference, I would have never made those decisions because it's not, my platform will go as far as abuse. I'm against abuse. I'm against child abuse in any way, shape, or form. I'm obviously going to be against anything that common sense tells you is not correct, right? I'm not going to stand for that. But if you're going to ask me what I believe in, the only thing I'm going to tell you is God.
And that's a beautiful sentiment. But you made a comment that music shouldn't be political. But if you really look back, and once again, coming full circle with Vietnam, I mean, look at Bob Dylan. Look at the songs that guy wrote. Look at Johnny Cash. There's a documentary I saw the other day. I get into these documentaries where Johnny, of course, prison and that whole concert, they covered that, but they also concert he performing at the White House for Nixon, and how he didn't play what Nixon wanted him to play. He made the most profound political statement within that song. The song's actually starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but at the end of the day, the temperature is different for us in 2025 when it comes to doing politics and music. Back then, that's how the artists, the Johnny Cashes, the Bob Dylans, I think that's how they were able to relate to millions of people, and millions of people feeling the same way.
You're totally fine. Yeah, you're totally correct when it comes to Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix and that era of where they made a political stand coming out of the hippie era. You're completely correct. I just think that we are so divided now that, and people are so much more violent these days, that you speak your mind and you say, I believe in this. And you are, again, hated by half of America, just for simply believing what you believe. You're hated for that.
I don't understand how the record company allowed them to do that.
I don't think that
going back to your Dixie Chicks, unless they released it independently, how would any record label be off balance enough to think that I'm going to go ahead and alienate? Michael Jordan summed it up, and I use this quote all the time. They tried to get him on this political stuff, and try to pin him, and he was like, "Look, Republicans buy shoes too." The end.
Yeah. And you can see a lot. I mean, I don't know if you remember the whole Bud Light thing. I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean, just because,
I remember Kid Rock's portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Bob's ridiculous. Okay, so one trans person says, does a campaign about Bud Light, and now all of a sudden Bud Light is, hated. I mean, that's ridiculous. And it's it cost
them $30 billion something. Maybe it was like $27 to $30 billion.
And then they didn't even go 10 toes down. They were like, oh, well, what she did was separate from what we were asking. We didn't really campaign with her, and it's it
was too late.
It was too late. You already did that. And then you didn't stand behind the candidate that you asked to campaign for you. So, it's, again, I am not going to tell you what I believe, but in that specific time, that's ridiculous. There's the other way where, people stopped buying pillows from, the guy because I don't know if I'm getting this right, but he isn't Christian or something to do with.
You talking about My Pillow guy?
Yeah, I think didn't that have to do?
Yeah,
I was trying to find the opposing sign of
No, he was an ex drug addict who turned himself around and took all the millions and millions and millions he's made with these pillows and just voiced his opinion. He had the deep pockets to do it. He didn't really get canceled as much. I mean, I think what bothers me more is this American Eagle stuff and what Sweeney's going through, which she's a powerhouse, versus Beyonce, versus why does everybody. I'm from DC. So black, white, yellow, red. I don't look at color. You know, my favorite color is green, is because I'm always trying to make it.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but I'm like, at the end of the day, why does everything have to be about race or politics or
Well,
everything?
that's what I'm
And
talking
you know, I'm
about.
not
It's
saying I'm
like,
not guilty, you know, that I don't like getting people fired up, but I get people fired up personally more on the common sense issues than I would ever get involved in real issues. Who's right? Who's wrong? You know, I hate Trump. I hate Biden. I hate this. I hate that. Whatever. Why get all upset over stuff you really have no control over? But when I see something good done, I have no problem letting the world know I think it's good. That's just
you
me.
know, and I can see like, and again, like people call me a sympathizer because like I can see both sides of the fence, and it's a very unfortunate thing in my position. But you know, like I could see how somebody might be feel less confident or feel less attractive when they have somebody like how beautiful Miss Sweeney is, campaigning my genes, which could be taken as my genes. You know, I can understand why people would be maybe offended, right? But as far as what it's taking it to is, it's just like just be offended and let it go. Like, okay, that sucked. Maybe think about doing another like multiple campaigns where it's different girls in the same kind of thing. It's not
But they
just one.
did. This started with Lizzo.
Right, but I'm saying in the same commercial. So it's like,
Oh, right. I got you. Yeah,
you
that's
know
not a
what I
bad
mean? So
idea.
it's
Yeah.
not just like one stands out. So unfortunately, that's just the way that the world is. They're going to be offended by everything now. So they're probably going to be offended by what I'm saying right now. So
There's that one thing
I
somebody hears that makes them think, wow, you know what? They had a good point. Maybe we should stop being such assholes and come together.
we are so much stronger
We are.
when we are together. I mean, um, if you look at any other country that overturns their government, right, it's when they all come together. And not to say that the government needs to be overturned. I'm not saying anything extreme like that, but it's just, it just shows the power of the people that we are supposed to be the voices, not them. We are supposed to be the voices of what we want. And if we can collectively come to an agreement that we are all different, period. We are not the same. And to make somebody the same as you, that's just not possible. You're trying to control something that you have no control of. You can't, and for an example here, I'm not ever going to put myself in a position where a man has control of me ever again, physically, mentally, emotionally. That is called abuse. So if you can think of it from that perspective, that you're in a relationship with somebody who's controlling you, who's jealous, who is telling you shouldn't be a certain way and abusing you mentally, emotionally, physically to get you to do what they want, that's what politics has become, abuse.
I think you just wrote another song.
I'm not singing it.
Sing it, Jackie. Damn it. We're writing a song together. I want to write with you. You need to
I'm
come
not
down.
singing it.
You need to write a song, Jackie. We you know, you're right on. You're spot on the money. Respect that. You know, we the people.
Yeah.
3 words. We the people. And I don't know. I think the hatred for both sides is so. I think money's ruined so many people, and I think the hatred for both sides is so intense, and
You
people
can't
are
you can't
so
make
much
anybody
more
happy.
violent. I mean, I'm fearless. Whatever. I live in Florida. So I mean, and Nashville's no different when it comes to. I think Oregon's different, right? Over where you're at, you don't have open
Yeah.
carry.
We
Michigan
are
has open.
a blue state here. We always
Yep,
vote
yep, yep.
blue. And you know, I think Tennessee votes red, if I'm correct. So when I fly
I know they
back,
have open carry. They have open carry in Tennessee. They have
we
open
have
carry.
concealed carry though.
You
You
do
can
have
get,
concealed carry in Oregon. Good,
yes,
good.
you can do concealed carry. Yes. We
We
don't
have
have open
concealed in
carry.
Florida, but I like concealed because the like Texas and Michigan have open carry, and I'm like, okay, that's just wild west. That's just
It
oh,
is, it's very
you know,
scary. I think,
but
like, I'll give
concealed,
you an
nobody knows if you got
example.
a gun or not.
I just did a show in Idaho, and
That rhymed.
yeah, I just did a show in Idaho, and they were unsettled because my security had, you know, was strapped.
Packing, absolutely. Hell
Yeah, he was
yeah.
packing, and they told me that he could not pack, but that he could still be my security. And I explained to them, for my safety and what I pay him for is to make sure that if an attack happens on me, that I'm protected. And you can't really protect somebody with a taser if they're yards away taking an aim at you, you know? So they were very kind, and they compromised, and they actually gave me a sheriff.
Okay.
Even though my personnel had all the licensing, had permissions in Idaho, was bonded, insured, all that stuff, trained, ready to rock and
A
roll.
professional security guard.
Yes, he was very professional with everything, all the credentials.
Yeah.
They just said, can we just compromise, and can we get somebody who's deputized to be with you for the show? And that was a great compromise. So I really appreciate that from them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me a sheriff. Give me somebody, you know, I get sad. We could talk about this all day. I get sad going to church and having to see sheriffs as I walk in. That sheriffs have to be at, you know, at least down here, there's a lot of sheriffs at all the churches. And I'm like, are you
Well, they
serious
should be
right
at every
now?
school too. They should be at every school. There's so
Well, they
many
do.
shootings. You know, I can't. It is just what a day we live in. Like, really, as a mother, it's so disheartening. And as a human being, it's just, I can't believe the lack of mental health care that we have here, because that is ultimately the one thing that we lack in America, and we need help there. So
Badly. And
Yeah.
and then they close all the psych wards up in DC. There used to be St. Elizabeth's. That's where John Hinckley had gone originally after he shot Reagan. And they've just closed all the psych wards. I mean, there's real people with real issues, and then there's doctors that are just keep feeding them mental pills,
Yeah.
and
these
I
pills
mean,
are
it's
very
making
horrible.
people schizophrenic. It's making people.
Think about Ozempic. Like Ozempic, oh my God. You know, I just can't even get into it. It's just, you're trusting these doctors to take care of you, and what are they doing? They're really messing with your hormones. They're messing with your brain. They're giving you these pills with so many different side effects that lead to other issues in your body. So really, for me, my mental health is very important, which is why I see a counselor. And I could have no problem whatsoever, but I'm still going to go to my counselor and say, hey, this week I had 0 problems. But
What does that? You really find that helps?
Yeah, I just think I think it's really important, because, you know, also to just have somebody that in confidence can talk to you and help you through from an outside perspective. And finding the right counselor is everything as well. Like somebody who holds the same values as you. Like for me, in my house, I think the man should be the provider and should be the alpha, right? And if I went to a counselor that thought feminism was more important than having an alpha male in the home,
That wouldn't work for you.
that wouldn't work, right? Because then they would be guiding me in a way that would ultimately not be healthy for me in my ideology, right? Not to say I'm not open to it, but it's just like, for me, it's important that my man is the alpha and not the beta.
Mhm.
So I want to find a counselor that understands that, because when I do have those issues, like if I do have an argument or an issue with my partner, they can give me real experience and real tools to work within the dynamics that I have set in my house. Whereas like, if I were to find somebody else, they would say, oh, you should probably leave him. He's horrible, you know?
So do you think females should have female counselors and males have males, or does it not matter?
I don't think it matters. I had a male counselor before I changed over to a female counselor, and I think it's just preference. And I think that when you settle in and you feel comfortable with somebody, you're finding you don't have to hide who you are or whatever, and you can be your most authentic self. That's the right person for you, whether it's male, female.
Yeah.
and everything in between. You know, no, if you don't want somebody to judge you, you shouldn't be judging the person across from you either. So,
Amen. Absolutely. All right. On that note, I'm going to let you go. You were awesome. And, you know, we didn't have this much time to talk at Four Seasons.
no, but it was still fun.
So when we got to coordinate when both of us are in Nashville, or if you come down to Florida, whatever, I almost drove out to see your concert that night. But then I think you were like 4 hours away. I think you were in South Florida. You were like, yeah, you were a little ways from me. So I wasn't able, I was going to surprise you and say hi. But when we're in Nashville, I'll let you know. And then we'll coordinate it. Let me know if I can help. I'll let you know when all this comes out. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Scott. You're amazing.
You too. And I hope the cat didn't get electrocuted.
No, she's sitting across from me now, just napping away. So,
All right, sweetheart. Take care. Have a great, great week.
you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Gasoline like me.